Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're talking about how you can play a song called Dark Angel by Blue Rodeo. And we're going to end up capoing this on 3rd fret to kind of match the recording, but we're going to start on a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and the third finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now through the song though, you may want to consider another G major where you do first finger on the A second, second finger on the low E string 3rd, and take the 3rd finger and go to the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E string 3rd. And if you strum all those together, it sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the G on our intro, we're going to be going to a D major chord. There's a couple different D majors you may want to use through this tune too. Normally you do first finger on the G string 2nd, second finger on the high E string 2nd, third finger on the B string 3rd, and if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now there's this really cool lick later on in the song though where we use something called D sus, and a lot of times while I'm on a D chord, a lot of times I like adding in D licks around D suspended chords. And so from the D, if you take your pinky and kind of add him in on the 3rd fret on the high E string, that's something called D sus, and you may even want to experiment with some things called D sus 2, where you take the D major and lift off the 2nd finger, which is always a dangerous finger to lift off. But around the D chords, you may want to think about kind of adding in some licks through that. And then from the D, we go to a C major chord. Now we play C major. First finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, and third finger goes to the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now another C major you might want to think about through this song though is something called C major 9. And when we play C major 9, first finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the A string 3rd, third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. If you strum the A string to the high E string, that'll get you your clear sound, and that's called C major 9. And then from the C major 9, we're going to be going back to the D major chord. Now a lot of times in a song like this though, to make it more interesting, I like adding something on a strum pattern. Now one way to do it though, because of the speed of the tune, is to just think about just doing downs. So especially if you're thinking about kind of designing your own cover of this, that might be kind of a cool way to kind of intro the tune, is just doing the downs through it. But one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the G and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down. And you'll have to go really, really slow to get this to kind of match up with the tune. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So we try that through our intro progression. We have G with down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, up. Now another strum pattern I think about using through the song though to kind of match the feel is a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that into 2 parts with our down, down, up, down. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns to work with is long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the G and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what you're doing on the first beat. And on the second beat, you're doing it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you're doing it up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So we tried that through our intro. We'd have G with a down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, G down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, D down, 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 up, down. there, then we'd be going into our verse chorus. And our verse chorus kind of starts on G major, and then we go to a D, and then we go to a C, but these are a little bit quicker than the intro, and then a G, and then we do another G, but then we go to a B minor chord. There's a couple different ways you might want to think about playing B minor. Normally you do this as a bar chord on 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the B string 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the D string 4th fret, pinky on the G string 4th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now, a lot of times with bar chords, though, you can take the skinny few strings and make smaller versions of the chord. So on the B minor, you might want to think about doing 1st finger on the high E string 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the B string 3rd, 3rd finger on the G string 4th. And if you strum the top 3 or the top 4 strings, that's another way you could do B minor. If you're a little bit more adventurous, you could take your 3rd finger and go to the D string 4th fret, pinky on the G string 4th fret, and that makes it a little bit thicker B minor. Another possibility is to play something called B minor 7 in root position. The way you play that, 1st finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger goes to G on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger goes to the high E string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that'll get you your clearest sound. That's called B minor 7. Another possibility, though, because if you're really kind of digging on kind of those C major 9 type of voicings, is you could do 1st finger on the A string 2nd, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd, 3rd finger stays on the B string 3rd, pinky stays on the high E string 3rd. And if you strum the A string and the high E string, that's another way you can play your B minor chord. And that can make it really easy, especially if you're just starting out, is from that B minor going back to the C to the G, and then we kind of have a long B minor at the very, very end of our verse chorus, and we kind of go into kind of a tag to that at the very end. So one weird thing about applying our strum patterns, though, is on the down, down, up, down, on those chords, if you're doing it at that slow pace, you really only have enough time to do a down, down, up on each chord until we get to that last B minor. So you'd have G with a down, down, up, D, down, down, up, C, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, B minor, down, down, up, C, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, B minor, down, down, up, down, up. And then from, now if we're doing our 16th note pattern through our verse, then we could half a lot of those chords with kind of a down, 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 up, and then kind of use our whole strum pattern for the last B minor. So we'd have G with a down, 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 D, down, 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 C, down, 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 G, down, 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 G, down, 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 B minor, down, 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 C, down, 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 G, down, 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 B minor, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And then from there, then we'd be going into a tag to that. And on our tag, we kind of have a C and then a G chord. And then we do our B minor with a whole strum pattern. And then we do a C major, and then a G major, but then we go to a D major, but there's this really cool lick, and if you're doing the down, down, up, down, up, you do the D with kind of a down, down, and then hit the D sus on the up, down, up, and then do a big D at the very end. So we tried our tag with our down, down, up, down, up. We'd have C with a down, down, up, G, down, down, B minor, down, down, up, down, up, C, down, down, up, G, down, down, D, down, down, D sus on the up, down, a big D. Or if we tried our 16th note pattern through it, when we get to that D lick, you'd have kind of a down, 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 D sus on the up, down, down, up, and then hit your D at the very end. So we tried our tag with our 16th, we'd have C with a down, 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 G, down, 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 B minor, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C, down, 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 G, down, 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 D, down, 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 D sus on up, down, down, big D. And then from there, then we're going to be repeating a lot of those parts kind of with some variations later on. Now the weird part is to play along with Blue Rodeo, instead of starting on a G chord, they're actually starting on a B flat major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 3rd fret, then now your G is really a B flat major, your D is really an F major, your C is really an E flat major, and the B minor is really a D minor. But to take it from the very, very beginning, we could do our intro with kind of our down, down, up, down. When you have G down, 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 D, down, 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 C, down, down, up, D, down, down, or we could do it with our 16th, and we have G down, 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 up, down, down, D, down, down, down. from there, then we'll be going into our verse chorus. And if we try that with our down, down, up, down, up, we'd have G with a down, down, up, D, down, down, up, C, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, B minor, down, down, up, C, down, down, up, G, down, down, up, B minor, down, down, up, down, up. Or if we tried that with our 16th, then we'd have G with a down, 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 D, down, 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 C, down, 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 G, down, 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 G, down, 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 B minor, down, 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 C, G, B minor, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And then from there, then we'd be going into our tag part. So if we tried that with our down, down, up, down, up, we'd have C with a down, down, up, G, down, down, up, B minor, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, G, down, down, D, down, down, D, sus on the up, down, big D. Or if we tried that with our 16th pattern, we'd have C with a down, 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 G, down, 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 B minor, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C, down, 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 G, down, 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 D, down, 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 D, sus up, down, down, up, down, big D. And then from there, then we'd be going back into kind of our verse chorus. Now, one other thing I would think about adding to the song, though, is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you could throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the G chord, you'd have the low E string for your bass. On your D chord, you'd have the D for your bass. On the C, you'd have the A string for your bass. And then on the B minor, we'd have the A string for the bass. And then on our D sus chord, we'd have the D string for the bass on that C. So we tried our chorus, our verse chorus, with our bass down, up, down, up. We'd have G with a bass, down, up, D with a D bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, D minor with an A bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, D minor with an A bass, down, up, down, up. Or if we tried that with our 16th, you could kind of work it as kind of a bass down, down, up on those halving chords. So we tried it that way. We'd have G with a bass, down, down, P with a D bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And if we tried our tag with our bass down, up, down, up, we'd have C with an A bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, up, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, D with a D bass, down, up, down, up, D. Or if we tried our tag with our 16th, so we have C with a bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, 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 C with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, 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 big D. From there, then we'd be going into our next verse chorus. Now, one other thing I would think about, because of the nature of the tune, actually, is doing some fingerstyle on this song. And so if you're interested in that, you could kind of take your thumb to kind of be your bass player for the E string, A string, and D string. Your index finger could kind of lock into the G string, middle finger on the B string, and then ring finger on the high E string. And one really easy arpeggio to kind of start off with would be kind of a thumb, index, middle, ring kind of idea. So we're kind of going bass, index, middle, ring on the low E string, G string, D string, E string is kind of just a really easy fingerstyle arpeggio. So if we kind of tried it that way through our verse chorus, we could kind of do that arpeggio one time for each of our chords that we were halving. And then when we get to our B minor at the end, then we could kind of make that kind of a two thing. So just if you're interested in this, I thought this would be kind of cool. You have G, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, G with a low E bass, G with a low E bass, B minor with an A bass, C with an A bass, G with a low E bass, B minor with an A bass. And then if we tried that idea through our tag, we'd have C with an A bass, G with a low E bass, B minor with an A bass, B minor, C major, G major, D major, or D sus would be very cool through that. And you kind of have an extended D sus and the D, and you might want to kind of try and alternate between them if you're doing the fingerstyle. That might be kind of cool. Or you might want to kind of work kind of hits, kind of trying to use all the fingers together. And then from there, then we go into a solo part. And on our solo part, we're kind of varying up some things that we talked about. So we tried that with a bass, down, up, down, up. We'd have G with a bass, down, up, B minor with an A bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, down, up, B minor with an A bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, B minor with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, up, B minor with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, D with a D bass, down, down, B, D. Or if we tried that with kind of our 16th pattern, we have G with low E bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, C with an A bass, down, 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 B minor with an A bass, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, D with an E bass, down. Or if you tried that with the fingerstyle, we'd have G, B minor, C major, B minor, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, B minor with an A bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, B minor with an A bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, D with the D bass, D sus, D. And then from there, then we'll be going back into kind of our verse chorus. So if we tried our verse chorus with our bass, down, up, down, up, we'd have G with the bass, down, up, D with the D bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, D minor with an A bass, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, D minor with an A bass, down, down, up. Or if we try that with our 16th pattern, we have G with the bass, down, D with the E bass, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, G with low E bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, up. And if we kept that 16th bass feel through our next tag, we'd have C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, up, down. Then we kind of repeat that C, G, B minor, and then we end up back on kind of our C, G, and D at the end. So it's kind of an interesting kind of chorus tag because we kind of repeat that C, G, B minor twice, and then we kind of hold on the D's at the end too. And then from there, then we go back into kind of our next verse chorus. So we tried that with our 16th bass to keep that going. Now G, D, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, G with low E bass, B minor with an A bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, B minor with an A bass. And then from there, then we'll be going into our next tag, and that kind of has that extended D on it too. So we'd have C, G with low E bass, B minor with an A bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, D with a D bass, D with a D bass, or you might want to kind of throw that sus lick in. And then from there, then we go into kind of our outro. And on our outro, we end up on a G, and then B minor, and then a C, and then a G, and another G, and then we go to B minor, and then we end up on a C major chord. And then at the very end, we kind of alternate between G and C, and G, and then C, and then G, but then we go to two of the D majors, and then kind of with our whole strum pattern, C with our whole strum pattern, and then we kind of end up on a big G at the very, very end. So we tried that with our bass, down, up, down, up. We'd have G with a bass, down, up, B minor with an A bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, B minor with an A bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, down, G with low E bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, up, G with low E bass, down, up, C with an A bass, down, G with low E bass, down, up, D with a D bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, and then we kind of end up with a big G major. You might want to kind of break up the chord different ways, kind of for that very last G. Or if we tried that with our 16th pattern, we have G with a bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, G with a bass, down, down, G with a bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, up, down, 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 G with a bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, G with a bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, G with a bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, 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 G with a bass, down, down, up, down, C with an A bass, down, down, up, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, up, down, down, a big G. Or if we tried that with our fingerstyle, then we'd have G, B minor, C, G, G, B minor, C, G, C, G, C, G, D, D, C with an A bass, C with an A bass. Then we have kind of our big G. But that's the basics of how you get strummed through Dark Angel by Blue Rodeo. So good luck!